it's Anja here, and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And today I would like to talk to you about how to use our yarn or our crochet for making or for decorating presents. So quite a few years ago I received a birthday present from someone, and she had wrapped it in brown paper and she had wound this garland around it. And I've had this garland because I had to go and get it from my bedroom. I've had that around the mirror in my bedroom ever since, and it has been such a joy to have had that. And the gift that she actually wrapped was a crochet magazine, and to be honest, I don't know where that ended up, but what stuck with me and what I enjoyed the most was the wrapping of her present. So today we are going to be looking at how we can use our leftover yarns to create a lasting impression, an extra gift on top of the gift that you are already giving, and which doesn't take very long to make at all. So a crocheted flower, some tassels, and a crocheted ribbon. So come on, dive into your stash next time you have a present to give to someone and use our skill to create a lasting impression. So I have here some gifts that I would like to wrap. I've got some plain brown paper which I bought from the supermarket even, and I am going to wrap my presents. Now, I'm the world's worst present wrapper. You can ask my children. But I think I've done a reasonable job. So I wrapped my presents in the paper, and then this big present here, I wrapped the meadow around it 3 times. Then I knotted it all together in that one location at the front here, and then I just put this flower on top, and look how effective. So simple and so effective. So this flower I made in the previous video, so do go and have a look at that. It's a lovely flower to make, really easy. And the flower can be removed to be kept by the recipient. So for this parcel, I made some tassels, of course, and I gave them contrasting bands. So there's 3 tassels, but they are different. And so I used the same colours to wrap around the parcel. I tied it in the middle, tied on the tassels, and then made a nice little bow as well. So I really like this effect because, of course, you know, I really love the tassels. And to be honest, you've got, you know, an extra little gift as well. You've got 3 lovely tassels and you've used up quite a bit of yarn. Okay, so for this next parcel, I'm going to make a ribbon and I'm going to chain it. And I have 5 colours together here, which are parchment, Lincoln, plum, violet and clematis, and I am using a 8mm hook, and I'm just going to be chaining a length of chain so I can wrap it round the parcel. Taking your 5 strands, I am going to do my usual, so I do a slip knot, insert the hook, and I'm just going to start chaining. And that's the fun of things like this, because, you know, it's just a little bit different from what we usually do. It doesn't really matter. We're just making a huge, big, chunky chain. And my hook is nice and big, so it's all going really well. Make sure, because I'm doing this really quickly, make sure you don't lose any strands on the way. So I am going to pull up my loop just in case. And I'm taking my parcel here and I'm just going to do the little wraparound that I intend to do. So I've got some left on this side and I've got some left on this side, so that's perfect. So I'm going to leave that for now. I'm not going to tie it just yet because, of course, so here we're going to cut this off. We're going to cut through our 5 strands because this is long enough. I'm going to pull through. Oh, I think I'm pulling through. Yep, there we go. So I've pulled it through, so that's all secure. That's all ready to be used. And of course, I am now what did you expect? I mean, really? Here we go. Yep, a tassel in these same colors. And of course, because you are now winding with 5 strands, it's going to go really quickly. So a nice fat tassel. There we go. Violet wanted to come into the picture as well. So there we are. I think that's perfect. So I'm going to just cut off these 5 strands. And now, as this parchment had a little bit of a burp here, let's just tie it together with parchment. So make a sort of, you know, a double string about 50 centimeters long, and let's bring it in there. And we're going to tie that at the top. But before we do that, we need to take it off the clipboard. There we go. So that's come off. There we are. Look at that. So let's tie the top first. And I'm going to use a contrast, so one color for the band, because that I think will be nice. So let's make a double knot first. Tie it really well, and of course a double knot doesn't come undone anymore, but then of course I'm just going to secure the double knot with a normal knot. So there we go. So now it's just choosing which color we would like the band in. I think I'm going to go for parchment because, like I said, it had that little burp and I want to get rid of that. So lay the parchment onto your tassel and just start winding whichever way you find easier, either with this in the way or with all of this in the way. And try and make a nice sort of ribbon, a band of colour where it is lying nicely next to each other. I mean, I've shown you so many times to make a tassel. I have to say I am a bit addicted. So I do apologise for making tassels yet again. I'm trying to convince you, you see. Okay, let's cut off the yarn. Tie these 2 together. And then just bring up the knot to the top here. I generally go into there, come out again, then take these 2 strands and pull them into the tassel, because you can, because it's part of the actual color way this time. And then now is the time to cut them all open and pull it into your fist like this. And so I, level it off like that. There we go. And now, of course, we are ready to assemble the whole present. So let me clear up the desk first. Let's get the ribbon around our present first. Like so. So I've got some left here and I've got some left here. That's good. So I'm going to use this one to go underneath and then sort of tighten it all up. So I could do a little knot here. So I've got that done. So that's sorted. And then now we're going to bring in the tassel. I'm going to split up the yarns, put 2 strands underneath, tie it up there. And mean, you could now cut this off, but to be honest, if you don't tie it too tightly and you're not going to cut it off, then the recipient can actually undo this nicely and reuse the tassel for something else. So I'm not too worried that I'm going to be leaving this out like this, because that way I know, you know, my embellishment is going to be reusable. So in a way, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be obvious that I've done that. There we go. I'm just going to leave it like that. I am, however, going to have a good tie at the end here and then cut this off at a nice even end, and the same thing on the other side, just to, you know, clean it up a bit so things are not too long here. So yeah, I'm really liking this one as well. Okay, so for this present I am wanting to make a wide ribbon with holes in it, so I can put a contrasting color chain with a bow in it. Okay, let me just explain. Right, so in cream I'm going to make my slip knot and I'm going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the width of my little ribbon that I'm going to be making. So now I'm going to chain 1. This is my turning chain. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to skip the turning chain, but in the 7th chain I am going to do my double crochet. So the chain 1 is just done to create a bit of height, but it is skipped for the pattern. So here I am now going to be placing a double crochet in every chain along. So that means I am going to be doing 7 double crochets. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. There's the 6th one and the 7th into the last chain. There we go. So now once again, chain 1, you turn, skip the chain, then straight away do your double crochet into that same stitch that chain 1 was coming out of. And now you're going to do 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and then the 3rd one in the 3rd stitch, of course. There we go. Then we are going to chain 1, skip 1, and then again we are going to work 3 double crochets to make it to the end of our little row. And making sure you pick up your last V. There we go. So you have this row, you have 3 double crochets, a hole and 3 double crochets. So now we chain 1, turn, and this row we do 7 double crochets in a row. When you get to the chain, you're just going to place your double crochet around the chain. So these are the 2 rows that you're going to keep on repeating, making a box and then making a full row. And then of course you're going to have to look at your present, at the size of your present, and see, you know, how you want to wind it round, and you need to stop when it is big enough, of course. So here I have made my ribbon. And if I put it on my present like this, it goes around really easily. So I'm now just going to do a slip stitch row to crochet it closed. So back in with your hook, chain 1, turn, and then best remove the present and hold the two ends together and find the leftover strand of the chain on one side, your stitch on the other side, and I'm just going to slip stitch together into the next chain. And of course you're doing 7 stitches like this because we have 7 stitches. Go. Very easily crochet it all together. And then it looks something like this, which is fine. Now, the reason why I wanted to have the holes was so that I could put a ribbon through it. So I am now just going for it here. I am chaining a chain. I'm using pink. I've just started with my slip knot and I just started chaining. Okay. You need quite a bit of chain, so not just going round the box, but of course you also need for the ribbon, for the ends, for the loops. So I'm just going to keep chaining. Of course you don't need much. Yeah, that's much better. Of course you don't need much yarn. Leftovers is fine. You know, it makes it so lovely to see that you've spent this sort of amount of time finishing off the look of their present. So I have sewn in the ends of my ribbon here, so it looks nice like this. Then I have sewn in the end on this side, so I've just taken a needle and put the yarn back into the chain. But I haven't sewn in the end on this side because I'm going to use my darning needle here to now weave in and out of my ribbon. So I'm going to get started somewhere. So this could be at the back. So make sure that where you start will be somewhere at the front so you can make your bow here. And I'm now weaving in and out like this with my needle, sort of pulling this chain so that it hangs out sort of the amount of chain that you need to make your bow in a moment. So bring this through. Right, there we go. Yep. So there we go. That's where we're at now. So now we put it around our present. Actually, looking at it, looks a bit like a garter, doesn't it? If you were to put a flower there, that would make it a really lovely present for a bride or something. Let me just see if I can find a flower. In a couple of videos ago, I made a flower. This one, no, that's not the right colour. But if I made one in this colour, wouldn't that be a lovely present? That would be a great present for, you know, like a bridal shower or a hen night. Oh my goodness. Oh well, I suppose it's the colours that I chose as well. Or make it blue and then she has something blue. Okay, so all I have to do now is sew in this end and then this present is also finished. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video has given you some ideas of how to use our yarn for decorating our presents. Thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next video. Bye!